If you live in the vicinity of Alexandria, Annandale, or Fairfax, Virginia, you're probably very familiar with the Little River Turnpike. But then again, let's ask ourselves, why is it called the Little River Turnpike? Where is this little river? And why is it called a turnpike? What is a turnpike? All great questions that I am going to answer for you right now. First, let's talk about turnpikes. The Virginia network of roads in the colonial times and early times of the United States was a patchwork of privately owned roads that were generally maintained by the property owners of the roads where the land ran through or adjacent to their properties. That worked fine for some smaller roads, but when it got to the busier thoroughfares, that didn't work so well because obviously these people were being responsible for a lot of people who were passing through their properties and not maintaining. They were maintaining for them, not for themselves. So in 1795, in the case of the Little River Turnpike, the people of Aldie, Virginia, especially the merchants there who were running some very important lumber and milling operations at the Little River, which is where the Little River of the Little River Turnpike is, were looking for ways of getting their goods delivered to the port city of Alexandria and getting goods that were imported through Alexandria out to them so they could be sold through the Fauquier and Loudoun County areas. So in 1795, they petitioned the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the Commonwealth of Virginia did pass the Little River Turnpike Act, which established a corporation. That corporation sold subscriptions, which you could have bought for $100 per share, which is roughly about $2,700 in today's money. But then it did turn into a fairly profitable endeavor. They collected in 1818 a peak of $30,000 in revenues, which is roughly about $750,000 in today's money. In those days, they were collecting the revenues slightly different than today. No fast pass in those days. Basically, you were charged, it was by road usage. So the rougher you're going to be on the road, the more you're going to have to pay. So every time you hit a toll road, which were regular intervals, there's a total of 7 toll booths. You had to pay it. Let's see. If you had 20 sheep, that was going to be 12 cents. If you had 20 cattle, however, you're going to have to pay 25 cents. The reason is because cattle are a lot rougher on the road surface than the sheep or even hogs are. Now, similarly, if you had a cart or a wagon, the wider the wheels were on your cart or wagon, the less you actually had to pay per horse that was dragging that wagon. Once again, this is because it was less rough on the road surface. So I guess it was basically they were looking at, hey, look, if you're turning up the road, you're going to pay more. If you're keeping the roads okay, then you'll pay less. The toll gates were located in regular intervals along the route. The route started out at Duke Street in Alexandria, and from there it went through Annandale, which is, of course, the primary place where you know the Little River Turnpike from. Um, there is a stretch of the original right of way on the campus of Annandale's Northern Virginia Community College. So that's something you can check out if you want to. That runs parallel to 236 is current right of way. It then proceeded through Fairfax Courthouse and then beyond Fairfax Courthouse through Germantown, Chantilly, and then past Chantilly through Lena, and then eventually ending up in Aldie. Anyhow, the toll booths, the locations, of course, have all been lost to history. The last remaining toll booth that there's any record of was in 1939. Otherwise, the only location or the only notification that we have of any of these toll gate locations was on Civil War maps because obviously in the 1860s, this was a very important area. The Northern Virginia area and the Little River Turnpike were all used by the Union and Confederate armies during that time for troop movements. Now, the Little River Turnpike currently runs on US 236 into the town of Fairfax, where it now ends. It ends at Fairfax Circle. Then beyond that, it becomes Main Street. It eventually actually turns into US 50 and then runs as US 50 all the way out to Aldie which is where it runs out. The other remaining remnant of the road is the old stone bridge, which you actually cross on US 50. And that beautiful bridge is in Aldie, crossing that little river that is that is the namesake for this wonderful road. Anyhow, that's a little piece of Northern Virginia history. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would love it if you liked and subscribed and told hit me up with some more ideas. What else would you like to learn? What other roads? What other Northern Virginia landmarks would you like to learn about? Thank you. Like and subscribe, and join me at Hometown History for more interesting content.